Science is changing our world and our lives at an ever-increasing rate. But today, artists are bringing science out of the laboratory. Nowhere is this more evident than in biology-inspired art, which by its very nature necessitates collaboration between an artist and a scientist. Arthur L. Miller, Merging Art and Science. The division between Black and white America began long before the 1930s. However, it was still a scientific question whether the differences in the skin complexion meant that the genetic makeup of Black men was different than their Caucasian counterparts. It is this question that fueled the study launched by the United States government, the Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment. Hi, everybody. My name is Tawni, and I hope you enjoy this video. This week's discussion question asked us to research a specific example of an artwork that was inspired or directly influenced in some way by scientific discovery. I have chosen the 1997 television film, Miss Evers Boys. Miss Evers Boys is a biology-inspired cinematic form of art, directed by Joseph Sargent, starring Alfred Woodward and Lawrence Fishburne. Miss Evers Boys was produced so that people could be educated on the story of about 600 impoverished African-American male sharecroppers from Macon County, Alabama. 299 of them were already affected with the disease. These men were purposely chosen to be used as guinea pigs for 40 years for the sake of scientific advancement. The Tuskegee study of untreated syphilis in the African American male was an infamous and unethical clinical study conducted between 1932 and 1972 by the U.S. Public Health Service. Originally, the team of Black and white health professionals stated that the purpose of this study was to find a cure, but in the end, it was to observe the natural history of untreated syphilis. The African American men in the study were told they were receiving free health care from the United States government. They were lured into the program with cheap promises of $50 insurance plans to purchase caskets so they wouldn't be buried in feed bags like most African American males during this time. The most sickening part about all of this is when the government funding was lost, the experiment got even more morally corrupt. Instead of focusing on the cure, the new funding received was to keep the men sick so that scientists could document how syphilis affected Black men differently than white men. The worst part about this is that science had already discovered a cure for syphilis, and it was available to them until the med team decided they wanted to continue to study the effects on the African American men's bodies. In the movie, there is a very touching scene where a man encounters another man that once had the disease. However, after joining the army, he is cured by what is, in my opinion, the greatest scientific discovery of all time, penicillin. It is sad to know that these medical professionals made the conscious decision to kill these men so that they could continue to experiment in the name of science. Joseph Sargent did a great job bridging the gap between science and art in this movie. Not only did he show how scientific advancements could help, but he also showed how it could harm humanity. I feel like these doctors were the real-life depictions of mad scientists. Once art and science seemed diametrically opposite, but these days, some of the most innovative artists are fusing art and science to create a brand new art movement inspired by science. Striving to visualize the invisible and what it will mean to be human in the future, they create images of objects of stunning beauty, redefining the notion of aesthetic and of what is meant by art. Arthur L. Miller, Merging Art and Science. Thank you.